Alright, with the launch of Season 19 coming, there's going to be a buff to Arc Souls. Now, Arc Souls really aren't that great in PvE right now. I mean, they're viable for certain aspects of the game. In general content, like I took them into a Master Catch Crash, and they worked. They weren't great, but they worked. You know, I gave other Guardians Arc Souls. It's just extra damage. But with the substantial buff coming to them in Season 19, it's really might become viable. Maybe not in a GM, but that's up for further testing. So I wanted to get this video out here to show you that they are decent. Obviously, we're going to be using Stormcaller. That's where you get your Arc Souls. We're going to be using a Healing Rift, Burst Glide, don't matter. But the Chain Lightning really helps with the jolts, and you're always going to be amplified when we get on with this. I'm using a Storm Nade because they are powerful right now. You can use your Flashbang because it is only a minute 30 cooldown, but honestly, you're not going to need it. It don't matter. You could choose whatever you want. I'm personally using Storm Nades. They're only a minute 45 cooldown if for some reason, just say you die and you lose your abilities, but there's ways to counter that. We're going with Arc Souls. When you cast a Rift, you're going to have an Arc Soul. While you're amplified, your Arc Souls are supercharged and gain increased fire rate. Now, we're always going to be amplified, and I'm going to show you how. All right. Now, this also gives Arc Souls to your fire team, which in turn, when you pass through the Rift and you get an Arc Soul, your Rift charges faster when they're near you, which in a fire team of 3 you usually are. We're also going with Electrostatic Mine. Defeating targets with arc abilities or defeating jolted or blinded targets creates an Ionic Trace. Let me tell you, you're going to be getting a lot of Ionic Traces, which is great because they make you amplified and they give you back some of your energy. All right, so let's see. These are the fragments that I've gone with because I'm usually up close and personal, and there's always Thrall or something around, or like a boss. So when you take melee damage, it briefly increases your outgoing melee damage, which is great because right here you're going to be chaining. You're always going to have it. It's decent damage, and that's a lot of chain lightning. We're going with the Spark of Volts. Rapidly defeating targets with arc damage makes you amplified, which we will be doing all the time, and it gives you your weapon benefits and stuff like that. So let's see. Spark of Recharge. When critically wounded, your melee and grenade energy regenerates more quickly. Now, you can put something else here if you want to. This is what I went to because it does help your abilities, and this is going to be an ability-heavy Arc Soul build. That's pretty much what it is. So, and then I put Arc of Weapon Final Blows have a chance to create an Ionic Trace, which is fine too. You could even try something else there if you wanted to, but this is what I personally just like to use. There's other options, like if you're going to be able to afford to throw a nade, have Arc Souls, throw nades, so don't ever think that you're not ever going to have a nade. So you could do a lot of things. You could do, when you're amplified, you can get orbs, which is another thought. Like if you want to replace the recharge or the discharge with this, which I'm probably going to test out, that's fine. I mean, that's the only other ones I would go with. And for any kind of DPS, because Storm Trance isn't really there for me, and you've already got a lot of ad clear with Arc Souls. So I went with Chaos Reach for a little bit of DPS. What we're using them with is, I like to use anything with demo, like say a shotgun or something like that. You can use whatever you want. I have a decent roll. I love the Ikelos. Now, we don't know the mods yet for Season 19, but I'm thinking SMGs might be coming around. But either way, this is really nice. It's an arc weapon, so it'll synergize, as you can see. Love assistance, and I love demo. So this works very well with this. If you have anything with demo that's arc, it works great. Or even Volt Shot. Like you could use Volt Shot, but I really prefer demo. Your heavy doesn't really matter, honestly speaking. So the mods I like to use are the Seeking Wells. That way I don't have to chase them down. And I love the Harmonic Siphon. Let's see. Now I'm using the Getaway Artist. This is what I've been using. All right. So when you convert your Arc Nade into an Arc Soul, you become amplified, constantly amplified. Your Arc Soul is going to last for 20 seconds. I will be showing you some footage. The Arc Soul functions as a turret on its own, amplified, everything like that. So when you eat your nade, you're going to be amplified and you're going to get an overcharged Arc Soul. Whereas if you only use your Rift, it's only an Arc Soul until you get an Ionic Trace, which makes you amplified. So there's different ways to be amplified. And as a bonus, if you didn't know, when you consume your nade, right, it says here, all you got to do is convert your Arc Nade into an Arc Soul and become amplified, right? Demo, this is a bonus. All it says is activating your grenade ability reloads your weapons. Now, as a bonus, when you eat your nade or convert it, it does activate demo. It does. So that's awesome. Like if you get low and you're going to be converting your nade constantly, even when you don't need it. For other mods, all I really went with was like, Font of Wisdom. You could go with Font of Might. You can go with the Elemental Armaments. You can do whatever you want, really, per se. But I went with Font of Wisdom to get that DPS, super back a little bit. The major mods, again, I'm doing the Bountiful Wells, so when I do create them, I get a little more. Now I'm running double Innervation, which states if you reduce your grenade cooldown each time that you pick up an Orb of Power. That's where, if you go back and say you pick the Spark of Amplitude, which, like I said, I am going to test, is really great for this. But I make enough as it is, honestly. So with these, it's really nice. You can double up on them. You can use whatever you want. You can use Absolution. This mod here doesn't really matter too much. You could go with Elemental Ordnance if you wanted to. And then these two are key in my opinion. You can use one. You can use two. It's all up to you and what you want to use here. Now for this season, you can put Amped Up. You're not gonna need it. Okay, I try to make builds that don't depend on seasonal mods. That's the whole key here. Now, if you're going into something with Overload, Arc grenades is great to have here. It's just a bonus. You can take one of these out because you're not really gonna need both of them. But if you want to go with, that doesn't involve like a seasonal mod, this is the build here because it doesn't depend on any of it. So as you can see here, I have also my Stasis, Getaway Artist. I love the grenade kickstart. It definitely helps. Like you're just constantly eating nades. I would say you probably don't even need it, but I put it on there anyways. You can change it out and put other mods on if you need them, but with all the weapons in the games that have intrinsic champion mods, it's really not hard to use. Plus, we really don't know what we're getting next season as far as champion mods, like I said previously. So if you can, these are the stats I run. I run a 100 rezeal, 100 recovery, and a 100 discipline. If you can't get triple 100s, build into your resilience, build into your demo, then worry about your recovery, because you have a healing rift right there, and you're going to have it back a lot. So it's not really too much of a concern with the recovery. Now, I mean, I wouldn't say go low, but balance it out. Definitely do the resilience, definitely build into demo, and then worry about your recovery. And that's all I have for you. Don't forget to drop a like and hit that subscribe button for me. It really helps out the channel, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.